Hello, marketers. Welcome to freemarketingmetrics.com. A lot of people ask, what are the most common marketing metrics used for marketing analyses? Well, today we're going to answer that. We're going to take some of the most popular, most used marketing metrics and give you a guide to how to use them. As a marketer, you're never going to be in a situation where you have infinite dollars to spend on a marketing program or advertising campaign. So marketers instead have to become very efficient in how they spend that limited budget. In other words, they have to get the highest return for the money that they spend. Marketing metrics and marketing analytics are the tools marketers use to guide their investment decisions to make sure that they're investing that money in the most efficient way. So let's take a simple example of analytical decision-making through marketing metrics.
In this example, suppose a marketer has 3 versions of a digital banner ad. Her goal is to maximize the revenue generated from $1,000 in digital advertising. So how would she go about optimizing the best way to spend that $1,000? Marketers can test multiple ads and measure their performance and determine which ad performs the best. So after testing 300 of her $1,000 budget, $100 on each ad, our marketer sees the results. And as you can see, ad number 2 generated the most revenue for that $100. Therefore, going forward, she can spend the remaining $700 on ad 2 to maximize the revenue generated from her $1,000 ad spend.
Now, there are a ton of marketing metrics and analytical tools that marketers use to make their investments more efficient. For today, we're going to talk about the 5 categories of the most commonly used marketing metrics. Let's dive in. The first category of metrics is what I call advertising effectiveness, and there are a number of metrics within this bucket. We're going to look at a couple, but overall this bucket, as the name implies, are metrics that help marketers evaluate the effectiveness of a particular ad.
First is ad recall. It's a measurement of how consumers remember an ad. Specifically, ad recall is the percentage of people shown an ad or creative who remember the ad or creative at a later date. Click-through rate, which is often abbreviated as CTR, measures the rate at which customers click an ad. Engagement is a term that can apply to several different marketing measurements. However, it's mostly used in social media applications and is a measure of how users interact with a particular social post or ad. Lastly, conversion rate. Conversion rate is a measure of how customers complete a desired action. It's the percentage of website visitors or ad viewers who complete a desired action, such as submitting an email address, filling out a form, or purchasing a product.
The second bucket of metrics is what I call purchase funnel metrics or marketing funnel metrics. And these metrics are used a lot by brand marketers because they help evaluate the customer path from being aware of a particular brand or product all the way through to purchase and post-purchase loyalty and advocacy. Let's take a look.
Here are 2 examples of purchase funnel or marketing funnel metrics. The first is brand awareness. As the name implies, it's a measure of customers' general familiarity with a brand. Next, there's consideration. Brand consideration is the second stage in a marketing funnel and directly follows the awareness stage. It's defined as the percentage of customers who would consider a brand when making a purchase decision.
Next up are lead-based metrics. A lot of business-to-business and service-based businesses use leads as their form of demand. So lead-based metrics help these marketers optimize their sales process.
Here are 2 examples of lead-based metrics. The first is cost per lead. Cost per lead is the average amount of marketing investment needed to acquire a lead. Next is cost per acquisition. It measures the amount of marketing investment required to acquire one customer.
The next group of metrics is what we call investment efficiency metrics. Now, this is where KPIs such as return on investment come in. And ultimately, this category of metrics is what marketers use to ultimately determine what their return on their investment is.
There are two examples of investment efficiency metrics. The first is return on ad spend, otherwise known as ROAS. It's a metric to measure how much gross revenue is generated by each dollar of marketing investment. Another example is return on investment. It varies slightly from the return on ad spend calculation, and it's a measure of the profit generated for each dollar of marketing investment.
The last bucket of marketing KPIs is what we call customer value metrics. Now, these metrics answer the questions, how valuable is a customer? How likely is this customer to return?
Let's look at 3 examples of customer value metrics. The first is lifetime value, often known as LTV. It's defined as the amount of revenue derived from an average customer over the lifetime of his or her relationship with a business. Next is average order value, AOV. It's defined as the average amount a customer spends on one transaction. It's very popular and often used in e-commerce businesses. Lastly is retention rate. Knowing the amount of time a customer stays with a brand is very important to service-based businesses. Retention rate is defined as the percent of customers who remain enrolled in a service for a defined period of time.
Okay, we hope you found this video helpful. As always, you can read the full article on freemarketingmetrics.com. Remember to subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you next time.